Support for this program is provided by Sequent Planning, an SEC-registered investment advisor, helping people make informed retirement income decisions. Additional information is available at sequentomaha.com.
There are more than 3 million cases of artery blockage a year. This buildup of cholesterol and other substances is a common cause for strokes and heart attacks. Good afternoon, I'm Brian Vomaka.
And I'm Lillian Griffith. Coming up, Omaha residents gathered to remember a dark and historic day in our city's past.
All this and more on the Omaha News.
From the studios of UNO Television, this is the Omaha News, presented by UNO School of Communication.
After slavery ended in the 1800s, African Americans still face extreme hatred, violence, and senseless acts of terrorism for decades. Reporter Jay Bridgman joins us live downtown where one of the most famous lynchings took place in 1919.
Lest we forget, those are the 3 words engraved on William Brown's tombstone. A gathering at the Douglas County Courthouse took Omaha back 100 years to a dark chapter in the city's past.
How sweet.
The hymn of Amazing Grace rang over dozens as the community gathered outside of the Douglas County Courthouse to honor the life and death of Will Brown on Saturday, September 28th. A dark chapter of American history left its stain on Omaha 100 years ago. Will Brown, a black man from Omaha, was falsely accused of the rape and robbery of a white woman. An angry mob of thousands of white men shot Brown dead in front of the Douglas County Courthouse. He was then lynched, dragged through the streets of downtown Omaha, and set on fire. Omaha leaders who spoke at the event participated in a transferring of soil ceremony as soil from the courthouse was transferred into jars. The jars will be displayed at the courthouse as well as other exhibits across the country to carry on Will Brown's legacy. Department Chair of Black Studies at UNO, Dr. Cynthia Robinson, urges the community to teach the ugly truth about Omaha's history.
This should be in our history books. I didn't know about the lie. I thought that, okay, he was accused of rape and all of this, and maybe that, he didn't rape her, but maybe no, all of this was one big made-up thing. Who would ever imagine that would happen?
Community members from different ethnicities and different backgrounds sat and listened to speakers share Will Brown's story, a story that should never be forgotten.
We have to remember Will Brown. We have to remember George Smith, Vivian Strong, all the people who were killed by mob violence and also by police. We have to remember that.
Although the event revealed the atrocious violence that occurred 100 years ago, Omaha continues to make strides to become a better city. How? Not separate, but unified.
The power of one. The power of one. The power of one is greater than you think.
Governor Pete Ricketts announced Saturday that September 28th is officially William Brown Day in Omaha. Red Summer, a theater play of the lynching seen through the eyes of Will Brown himself, opened here at the Blue Barn Theater on September 26th and will continue through October 20th. Brian, Lillian, back to you.
78-year-old Senator Bernie Sanders was hospitalized in Las Vegas, Nevada after complaining about chest pains. The Vermont senator underwent medical evaluation and doctors found a blockage in one artery, inserting 2 stents to treat it. Sanders is currently the oldest Democratic candidate running for president. Sanders' senior advisor, Jeff Weaver, says the senator will be resting for the next few days. Weaver says Sanders is canceling all events and appearances until further notice.
Another high school in the Omaha metro area has implemented broadcasting into their curriculum. This time, it's Millard South. Since the beginning of the school year, Millard South has added a broadcasting course that focuses on using audio and video equipment to stream different events. They've begun with live streaming football and softball games this fall on YouTube. Journalism advisor Christine Caldwell admitted there have been some hiccups, but her students are growing during this learning process.
I didn't teach them how to call a game or do commentary, and at our first game, Dylan and Joey showed up and put on the headsets and started talking about football, and I was literally amazed. Fortunately, I have really awesome students who just figured out how to make it all work.
The students of this course will call every sport for Millard South this season. Caldwell is also the advisor for the school's newspaper, and she believes the broadcasting course will help prepare students for journalism in college and beyond.
Coming up, one UNO student organization is continuing a tradition celebrating all things Halloween.
Next, we take a look at how Dundee residents are campaigning for changes on their street after 60 years.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Your MAV card is your ticket. Don't lose it.
Ticket? Ticket to what?
It's your ticket to tremendous entertainment. Like the UNO Art Gallery. They host amazing art shows, lectures, and the Writers' Workshop reading series. We can go to the Strauss Performing Arts Center, where we can experience live music. Or maybe the theater, where they host 4 productions a year.
Your MAV card is your ticket. Where will it take you?
The University of Nebraska Omaha has 14 club sports offered year-round. UNO Ultimate is one of those teams that practices twice a week. Each team travels around the country competing against other colleges. Club sports are a great way for students to compete at a collegiate level.
We have a tournament this weekend where we're going to be representing the school in a sanctioned event, not just a fun scrimmage against a crosstown rival.
Check out the club sports page on the UNO website under the Engage tab to join a team today.
I found a monster when I was young and green in life. I would have to say it kind of fell under the category of what would be domestic assault. That had a big influence in my life, and I kind of stayed angry. That part of me that was taken, I get that little piece back with the martial arts. Feels like control that I lost. I lost control of myself a little bit, whether it be my freedom or control of my own body. So I get a little piece of that back with the martial arts.
You've always known you were a leader, someone who works hard to achieve your goals. You can see it. You can see your success in front of you. You pursue a college education for the old-fashioned reasons, to learn, to make yourself more valuable, to succeed. You need a place that celebrates your ambition and positions you alongside visionary people just like you. You, my friend, belong here, the University of Nebraska at Omaha.
This is the Omaha News.
The Dundee neighborhood is a historic area in central Omaha. Right now, residents are fighting for change that is long overdue.
Residents of the Dundee neighborhood are campaigning to fix Farnham Street, which runs through a residential area and has complicated rules that lead to a number of accidents.
There are 12 to 18 crashes a year on Farnham Street between 46 and Happy Hollow. And my answer would be, does your neighborhood have 12 to 18 crashes a year? Does your neighborhood street, would it be acceptable? And the answer is no. It wouldn't be acceptable in any neighborhood.
Street signs like the one behind me indicate that Farnham Street is a one-way street from 7 to 9 a.m. and 4 to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. All other times of the day, it is a two-way street. This has caused confusion among drivers and complaints among the neighborhood.
We base our argument that it's inappropriate for the times. 20% of the drivers are driving distracted. The reversible lanes causes confusion. It doesn't add much capacity to the street.
In recent weeks, several hundred signs with the simple message, "Fix Farnham," two-way, all day, every day, have gone up around the neighborhood, and more are currently being made. Farnham Street has been like this since 1957. Several residents leading the campaign have met with Mayor Stothert and stressed that the time for change is now. They see hope on the horizon.
We are optimistic with the mayor's assistance that this will be turned around and we will have this situation resolved.
The current situation on Farnham Street is not only dangerous for drivers, but for students walking to school as well.
Working with dangerous equipment is part of everyday life for a farmer. Accidents happen all the time, so farmers have many safety precautions in place, but that doesn't mean all safety measures are accident-proof. According to the National Safety Council, working in agriculture is considered the most hazardous business in the nation. Grain bin accidents are one of the most common disasters on farms, especially during harvest season. So far in Nebraska, there have been 2 bin deaths, and it's only the start of harvest season. Iowa farmer David Wohler says he understands the dangers.
I want to make sure there's been no grain taken out of it, and make sure it's not like caked up and ready to cave on you or something. Just, I don't know, just seems like now if you have trouble with that, you can get a vacuolator or something, and get it taken care of.
A vacuolator is a grain vacuum used to help the flow of grain. It is one of the many safety tools Wohlers uses to keep himself safe while working in bins. Wohlers also warns people to never go in a grain bin alone. According to Purdue University, Iowa has the highest amount of grain bin deaths per year, with Nebraska falling closely behind.
October is here and Halloween is around the corner. Reporter Ben Helwig is live at our news table to take a look at one student group's growing holiday tradition.
Halloween has become one of the most popular holidays for people of all ages, including college students. One group at UNO has taken their unique take on the holiday that grows more popular every year. The spooks and sweets of Halloween have captured the attention of people for years. For one group at UNO, each October they channel that fascination into telling stirring stories in an event called Haunted Heartland. Each October, a group of Omaha radio students put together an entire program centered around the many Halloween-themed happenings around Omaha and beyond. Brady Nogard, a UNO student who helped with last year's Haunted Heartland, enjoyed the team aspect of making the show possible.
I mean, honestly, it was a really good experience. It was kind of all a big group effort. Even though we all did our individual projects, it all came together at the end.
2019 is the 7th rendition of Haunted Heartland, and while the program has received awards at the local, regional, and national level, there is a belief that the best is yet to come. Megan Reeder, a former UNO student, worked on the very first Haunted Heartland. She maintains that the event seems to get better and better each year.
So the stories are more creative, the production's more creative, it's smoother, I mean, all of that. So I think it's progressed into something that I don't think we realized.
Reeder, who now works at Z92 in Omaha, loves the creative freedom that Haunted Heartland offers its students.
You're kind of under that umbrella of still being a kid, even though you're technically, when you're in college, you're the age of an adult, but you still have that kind of allure of the Halloween season that I think still kind of has a little bit of innocence to it.
Haunted Heartland started in 2013 as a homework assignment. Since then, it has become a staple of MAV Radio programming. Listeners can tune in October 30th, starting at 6 p.m. at mavradio.fm.
Coming up, we head over to our sports team to check out the UNO marching band.
Next, the men's basketball court has a returning leader making the most of his recovery.
All this and more on the Omaha News.
Dedicated to confront prejudice, bigotry, and discrimination. With educational programs that raise awareness, foster leadership, and encourage advocacy. We are building a just and inclusive society. Since 1938, we have served Nebraska, Iowa, and parts of South Dakota through our leadership and inclusion programs for youth, community, and workplace development. Our mission and programs remain as relevant today as when we began 80 years ago.
Being an apostolic oblate is really who I was made to be. As I started thinking about the possibility of a vocation in consecrated life, it was kind of repulsive to me, but kind of made a deal with God. And I just said, if you want me to follow you, then you have to show me that your plan is beautiful and full of love and adventure and joy, because I want that in my life. So it's worth the risk.
So I have a test on Tuesday and a 10-page essay due Wednesday. I have to help set up my sorority's bake research paper due essay tomorrow. I'll do by tomorrow. Wednesday. Research for 7 grade.
Don't let fear and worry build up inside you. Visit the Counseling and Psychological Services office here on the UNO campus. Students can receive 8 to 10 confidential counseling sessions free of charge. Sign up for your first appointment today.
As a student, it's good to know you have support wherever you go.
To have a simple and direct way of seeing that next assignment. To have an easy way of knowing where you're headed to next. Or just how quickly you're going to get there. The UN Omaha app is everything a student needs, just a tap away. Download it today on the App Store or Google Play.
Welcome back to another edition of Omaha Sports. I'm your host, Matt Kirkle. This last weekend saw a lot of Maverick victories across the board, starting with the volleyball and women's soccer team on Friday night. After losing 5 straight matches, all by a score of 1-0, the women's soccer team has strung together back-to-back wins going into conference play. They won on a golden goal last Tuesday against Drake off of a Tabitha Alberg goal in the 95th minute and held off Grand Canyon on Friday after Lauren Mertz picked up her first collegiate goal to win their final 2 non-conference matches. They look like they have now found their groove with Bailey Cashiel back in the lineup as Omaha takes on Western Illinois tomorrow afternoon to start league play. The volleyball team came away with a pair of wins last weekend as they started conference play as well, picking up a win against North Dakota. They dropped set 1 to the Fighting Hawks, but ended up controlling the rest of the match, winning the 4th set 25-11, capping off 3 straight set victories to win the match. They followed that up on Sunday with another 3-1 victory over North Dakota State, this time in a much tighter match as each set was decided by 2 points. Omaha did fall in a close 5-set match last night to Oral Roberts on the road and now sit in 3rd place in the conference standings early on in league play. Omaha men's basketball lost 2 of the team's biggest offensive contributors in Zach Jackson and Mitch Hahn from last year's team. And after an offseason of battling injuries, the Mavericks now look to senior JT Gibson to be the team's new leader.
Senior guard JT Gibson broke his foot back in June and is making a remarkable comeback to the court. Gibson talks about what it's like battling an injury.
Going into my senior year, didn't get hurt in the midst of the offseason. It's also a blessing in disguise, I feel like, just to give my body some more rest and just to prepare for another season.
Despite a few setbacks for the player, Coach Hansen describes how resilient Gibson has been.
You know, he's always overcome them. He's always come back strong. JT's a worker. He works every single day in practice. He works in the off season. We can't keep him out of the gym at nights.
Gibson says that being a leader is important to him.
It means a lot to me just to be able to guide the new guys, the younger guys. It's a big role.
Coach Hansen preaches JT's basketball IQ, but recommends he needs more of a voice in offense and defense in order to be more of a leader this upcoming season. The men's basketball team opened its season on November 5th at Wichita State, and Gibson says that he's excited to be back on the court with his teammates again.
It's definitely going to be fun. We've been with each other every day since about June, so just to finally start playing games against somebody else, not just ourselves, will be it's always exciting.
After Gibson missed months of workouts, Hansen has all the pieces of his team put together.
JT is great. He's looking forward to get back on the floor. He's excited to be back with his teammates because he couldn't work out with them this summer and even much this fall. He's fired up about that. We're fired up about him, and we're as excited to get the season started with everybody together as he is.
For the Omaha News, I'm Dan Kingery.
Last year, JT Gibson shot almost 40% from three-point range and averaged just under 13 points a game. This season, he looks to advance his game and further his role on the team even more. The UNO Marching Band performed a special guest this past weekend at the Titan Marching Invitational. The band performed in front of a packed house at Papillion La Vista South High School. They also perform at UNO games, and many can be seen performing as part of the Maverick Machine Pep Band at Omaha hockey, volleyball, and basketball games. Kaylee Matthews, a junior drum major from Grand Island, believes that the band's Maverick pride is second to none.
Everyone in the marching band is definitely the most spirited about UNO of anyone I've ever met on the campus.
By Director of Athletic Bands, Dr. Joshua Carney, the Mavericks travel across the region to perform exhibitions for high school students and parents. These shows can be used as both a recruitment tool as well as extra practice for the students. You can next catch the Mavericks in action this Saturday for the Harvest of Harmony in Grand Island. Omaha Soccer hosted a doubleheader last Friday at Caniglia Field and offered a special promotion to try to bring more people to the game who aren't necessarily soccer fans. Omaha Athletics reporter Jack Hoover gives us a unique look at this exciting event.
When the Omaha men's and women's soccer teams took the field on Friday night, the game served as a special opportunity for four-legged companions. As part of a special promotion, Omaha Athletics, for the second year in a row, hosted their Pooches at the Pitch event.
Well, we've always tried to find ways to
make the fan experience better here, not just at soccer, but all of our sports here. This is just one event, whether it's the food trucks here, the added amenity, or these types of events. We're just trying to bring something different to the fans.
For $5, fans who brought their dogs to the game got berm seating for either the men's or women's soccer match that evening. In addition, the first 150 canines that showed up received Omaha Maverick travel water bottles. So for fans of the Omaha Mavericks, this event provided a chance for them to bring together two of their favorite things.
I usually come to the soccer games, and I also love dogs. It's just a great opportunity to do both.
While the games on the field may have been stressful, the pooches off the pitch helped take the edge off.
Everybody enjoys being around a dog. I mean, like I said, the fans love it when they get to bring their dogs out. Our staff loves it when we get to host this type of event. So whether you want to call it therapy or just enjoyable event, it's something that we're going to continue.
For the Omaha News, I'm Jack Hoover.
On the pitch, the women's soccer team picked up a 1-0 victory, followed by the men's soccer team losing 2-1 in overtime to Cal State Northridge. As for the dogs, some people said it was tough to keep them in check at times. Maybe next year they need to bring a referee to the game. That's all we have for Maverick Athletics this week. Brian, Lillian, back to you.
Thanks, Matt. Coming up, UNO hosted an after-dark event to let runners show their glow.
Next, we look at what opportunities International Week for the Deaf gives to sign language speakers in the community.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
When a child is fighting cancer, the Love Your Melon UNO campus crew is there. We believe in a simple positive impact by visiting these children and doing volunteer work around the community.
Being able to work with people, do volunteering, and helping those that really need it is a really big draw for me.
Please visit our social media or loveyourmelon.com for more information.
You know, when you go to a theater production, you only see the finished product. You're not seeing all the long nights, the rehearsals, the laughs, some of that fun that happens behind the scenes. My favorite part about that process is getting to know the character. As an actor, when I get to that finished performance, if I can hold a mirror up to the audience and they can see my character as someone relatable, then I know I've done my job. My name is Jared Chernoshek, and this is my story.
Coming up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, faded grass to a full.
About 3 out of every 1,000 children in the United States are born with some level of hearing loss in one or both ears. A local organization has been raising their voices and hands to bring attention to International Week for the Deaf. According to the National Association of the Deaf, Deaf Awareness Week was established to encourage social inclusion and awareness of the organizations supporting deaf people in their communities. President at Allies for Sign Language, Colton Schnack, says there are many worldwide and nationwide local events and activities during Deaf Awareness Week.
The Nebraska Commission for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing hosts an event at the zoo, and they invite local interpreters and the deaf and hard of hearing community to come and enjoy a presentation in sign language with interpreting services, and then have people interact with one another.
Schnack believes these activities can be helpful for deaf people because they don't have as much inclusiveness. He currently finds his passion in hosting ASL events around the city as often as possible to increase ASL awareness in the community.
Citizens in North Omaha are seeing improvements in their streets after years of driving on unfixed roads. However, there are local concerns about their conditions during weather changes. Reporter Elle Love provides a perspective from a retired City Works street repair operator.
North Omaha citizens believe it has been over 40 years since the city of Omaha has addressed issues relating to potholes and other broken areas in their streets. Donovan Brent, retired City Works street repair operator, argues how temporary patchwork doesn't solve the issue of broken streets.
One,
one piece put in all at one time is far better than just cutting a chunk here, cutting a chunk there, because it leaves room for water. And once water gets in, of course, with Nebraska, you get cold weather. Well, when the cold weather kicks, it causes that ice. And when the ice forms, it causes the patch to pop back out of that spot.
Brent said that the main priority of City Works is to find the most damaged streets to repair. Yet, if there's a grant in place, they hold off on the street and repair the entire area that the grant is funded towards. Brent argues the biggest problem with the potholes and broken streets of North Omaha is residents not reporting their concerns to the City of Omaha enough to fix these issues.
And that's another big thing in North Omaha is they won't complain. They won't call and say, oh, there's a pothole right in my street. Oh, I'll leave it for the next person. And that person's thinking the same thing, I'll leave it for the next person, so it never gets reported.
For the Omaha News, I'm Elle Love.
If you have a concern regarding road condition, contact City of Omaha Public Works at 402-444-4919 or visit their website.
The 5th annual Glowing O 5K run was held over the weekend at UNO, giving students a chance to take a break from the books and get active. The event was encouraged beyond just UNO students, and perhaps the highlight of the night was that some runners brought their dogs. As the night fell over campus, glow bands and t-shirts were provided to help lead the way. The running and walking route was 2 laps around campus. This gathering allowed graduate students at the Wellness Center to connect with the UNO community.
So what we want to do with the Glowing O is really provide a cheap, fun event at night on a Friday night. So it's, inclusive, fun, and gets everybody involved on a Friday night if they don't have any plans. It's healthy. It's less competition based and more just a fun run.
All funds raised went to campus recreation. Over 100 runners participated, giving what officials say is steady growth over the last 5 years.
That's all we have for today. Be sure to come back next week for more exciting stories in your community.
Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, at UNO, the Omaha News, or find our website for even more news and stories at unomahanews.com.
From all of us here at UNO Television, thanks for watching.
We'll see you next time.
Support for this program is provided by Sequent Planning, an SEC-registered investment advisor, helping people make informed retirement income decisions. Additional information is available at sequentomaha.com.
Maverick Sports News has grown up. Mav Radio's First Warning is streaming live to show you the best and worst of the sports world. With analyst DK Kellogg, host Ray Cook, and the whole First Warning crew. Where will you be when the warning sounds?
It was kind of a risk. Consider this has quite a history now, and we're proud of it. Kind of the quiet history, because of budget cuts or whatever, they kind of reorganized UNO Television. But they wanted to consider this going. And I said, well, why don't we just make it the output of the studio production class?
Social media can be fun, but it can also be a powerful tool. At the UNO Social Media Lab, we work together to advance our understanding of social media and technology on the UNO campus and beyond with research application services such as real-time social media tracking, social media listening, and assistance on how to work with first-party social media tools such as Twitter and Instagram analytics. We have also consulted and collaborated with communities in Nebraska to help them leverage social media to work for their communities.